Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Seele. We're going to be covering her kits, the best light cones for her, which relic sets you're going to use with her, and of course, which team com she's good with. So without further ado, let's get into her kits. Her basic attack deals quantum damage to a single target enemy. Her skill increases Seele's speed by 25% for 2 turns and deals quantum damage to a single enemy. Her ultimate allows Seele to enter a buff state and deals a tremendous amount of single target quantum damage to a single enemy. Now this is what makes Seele really overpowered. Her talents Resurgence make it so that when you defeated an enemy, you get an extra turn, and during the extra turn, you gain an increased damage bonus. Absolutely insane because of the fact that you can proc this with your ultimate as well, meaning that you can use your ultimate, kill somebody, proc Resurgence, and then you get an extra turn, and then proceed with your actual turn and then proc Resurgence again. So you can basically get like a 4 hits in a row with Seele if you use her ultimate. There's also a tip, like when you know that your ultimate is almost full, then you know that it's just gonna take 1 hit, and when it's full, you proc it right before Resurgence activated. So you can basically ult and then get an extra attack from Resurgence to recharge your ultimate faster. It's really useful in certain situations. I mean, you probably want to use it every single time you can. And then there's also some other traces that makes her stronger, like this one. After she uses her basic attack, her next action will be advanced forward by 20%, or quantum rest penetration. When your HP is lower than 50%, your chance of being attacked is lowered. There's also some stats increase from these level ups as well when you can. Looking at the kit, I would say prioritize her ultimate, her skill, then her talent, and then her basic attack. Now let's start with her light cones. There are a lot of options for her for light cones. The best one is of course in the night. It's her signature weapon. It gives her crit rate, and for every 10 speed that you have that exceeds 100, it further increases basic attack damage and skill damage, and it also increases the crit damage of your ultimate, and this effect can also stack up to 6 times. If you don't have her signature weapon, there's a free 5-star light cone that you can get from Herta's shop using the standard C. It increases the wearer's crit rate and further increases it even more when you're up against enemies with HP less or equal than 50%. And it also gives you a attack increase whenever you defeat an enemy for 2 turns. It's a really good light cone for her if you don't have her signature. It's pretty decent. I would say that you might not even need her signature light cone if you have this one, because the 5 stars, the stats of a 5-star light cones is really good. Alright, so if you don't have any of the 5-star light cones, only Silent Remains is a really good 4-star option. It increases your attack and also increases your crit rate when there are 2 or fewer enemies on the field. And then most of the time you'll be killing the enemies and fighting bosses. So this one is actually really good for her as well. Subscribe for more is also a solid choice for 4-star light cone because it increases the damage of your wearer's basic attack and skill by 24%. This effect also doubles when the wearer's energy is maxed. So it's a really decent, it's a really good light cone to have if you have it. I personally don't have it, but a really good light cone to use if you don't have any of the 3 above. If you don't have any of the light cones that I've just mentioned, River Flows in Spring can also be good. It increases your speed and damage, but the thing is that when you take damage, all of the effect will disappear and it will only get it back after the end of your next turn. It's a really risky light cone, although Seele does have a passive talents that reduce the chance of her getting hit, but compared to the other light cones that I've just mentioned, this one is just not as good as them. Like, there's also a 3-star light cone that I want to say that it's also a pretty solid choice if you don't have any of the 4-star or 5-star light cones, especially when you're just starting out. The adversarial light cone is pretty good. It gives you 10% speed, and of course it's not just 10%, you can superimpose this very easily since it's a 3-star icon, and increases your speed for 2 turns whenever you defeat an enemy. This is really good compared to the other 3 stars. Of course, there are also other 3 stars that increase your crit rate. They only increase for like 3 or 2 turns only. This one is permanent and it activates every time you defeat an enemy. It's just really good with Seele, and with Seele you want as much speed as possible, so it's a pretty solid option as well. Now for her relics, the best relics options for her is the Genius of Brilliant Stars set. 2-piece gives her quantum damage bonus by 10%, a 4-piece gives whenever the wearer deals damage to the enemy target, it ignores the defense by 10%, and if the target has quantum weakness, the wearer additionally ignores 10%. So your character basically ignores 20% defense if the target enemy has quantum weakness. But if you don't have that set, Musketeer of the Wild Weight is also really good for her. 2-piece sets increase her attack by 12%, the 4-piece set increase her speed by 6%, and a basic attack damage increase by 10%. Really good for her, really good stats for her as well. Of course, you can always make it like a 2-piece quantum damage and attack increase, but me personally, I would suggest like a 4-piece set on either of those because the 4-piece bonus is just too good to let go. For her accessories, Space Sealing Station is really good for her. The set bonus increases the attack percentage by 12%, and when the speed reaches 120 or higher, which you're typically gonna get with Seele, the wearer's attack will increase by an extra 12%. The Inert Salsoto is also a really good option for her. This is what I personally use. The 2-piece sets increase the crit rate by 8%, and whenever the wearer's crit rate reaches 50% or higher, they will get a 15% increase on their ultimate and follow-up damage. Follow-up damage might not be useful for Seele, but the fact that it gives crit rate and ultimate damage is absolutely insane for her, in my opinion. For her main stats, you would typically want crit rate or crit damage on the chest plate, speed or attack percentage on the boots, quantum damage bonus on the spheres, and attack percentage on the link ropes. For her substats, you want to prioritize crit rates or crit damage over speed over attack percentage. For her team comms, it's really simple. You can either run a 1 healer, 1 shooter team comm, maybe something like a Fire MC Natasha. But I typically run just 1 healer because I feel like Seele is basically gonna be killing the whole enemy team before they even start attacking you. So I don't see the need to have like 2 survivability units in your team unless you're fighting against like simulated universe where the enemies are like really tanky. Then probably you want like a healer and a shooter. But this is a team that I typically use on the overworld. I have Natasha because I don't have Bailu. If you have Bailu, of course use Bailu. She's a way better healer. Of course you have Seele. I would definitely recommend you to use Bronya with Seele if you have her. Bronya is absolutely insane. The fact that Bronya can advance Seele's turn by 100%. Seele basically gets like six turns of attack because of her. She's gonna be outing and hitting every single time when you have Bronya on the team. Tingyun is also really good. It boosts her attack and also gives her energy for her to use her ult more frequently. Asta is also a really good option as well because she gives an attack buff to the whole team. Her ult also gives the whole team speed boost. She's also really good at breaking shields that are weak to fire. But let's say like you don't have enough damage, then you can probably switch like one of the supports into a damage dealer like Danheng or Serval. Like in this team, it's pretty flexible. You just need Seele and a healer and maybe like two support units to buff Seele's damage, or you can just run 1 and use another DPS unit to break shields. It's really flexible. Overall, I think Seele is a really valuable DPS unit. Her talents is really OP and it's literally the cutest thing in the world. So come on, you don't need any other reasons to pull for Seele. And that's it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.